Hi everybody, so today I'm going to be doing a mostly full face of Kokie Cosmetics. I have some things here that I've already tried or that I want to try that I haven't gotten a chance to try yet. So I thought it would be kind of fun just to do like a full face of whatever I have and we can kind of see what the outcome is. So I have the Kokie Full Cover Foundation. I have this. I also have my two Kokie eyeshadow palettes, the Arabian Nights and Pure Magic, and I am going to be using this as though it is one big palette because they you can kind of get some different looks from combining them. They're pretty affordable, so I don't mind like combining them, see what kind of look we can get. I also have a little mini blush palette from them that I have not tried. It's really pretty. And I have two highlighters that I want to try. This one is in the shade Gleaming and this one is Rosy. Let me open them for you. They look like that. One is obviously a little deeper, one is lighter. I also bought a champagne eyeliner for my waterline. I bought a pretty pink lipstick and a Crystal Fusion liquid eyeshadow, which is kind of like a dupe for the Stila eyeshadows. I'm really excited to try them because some of these I haven't tried, and then obviously, as I said, some I have tried. So I'm going to just begin with some foundation. Now, I've used this foundation quite a bit. This was like my go-to foundation for work. It lasts really, really well. It has good coverage. The only negative thing about it is that it tends to be a little gray, and it also tends to smell like Patron. Like, it smells heavily of alcohol. The smell does dissipate through the day, but it is like a very strong smell. Otherwise, if you can get past that, this foundation is awesome. Yeah, so there you go. Just gonna pump some. I'm a little tan right now, so it is going to be a little bit light on me, but we can ignore that for now. And I like to blend this out with a brush. You can blend it out with a sponge, but I prefer to blend it out with a brush. And I typically don't really use primer. Sometimes I do if I am like really broken out. And I need some like slick, like silicone to brush over my dry spots, but typically I do like to just go straight in. I just feel like my foundation lasts longer and looks more natural. So I'm gonna start with that. I still have that on my hand, and I'm just gonna go straight in and blend it out. As I said, at the moment, I mean, it matches my neck, but my face is pretty tan. So I'm gonna zoom you in so you can see the coverage so far, and I'm gonna take the rest and add coverage where I need it. But we're just going to zoom you in so you can really see how it blends. So what I'd like to do is just take excess on the brush and put it wherever I need it. You can see it does oxidize a bit. So I just feel like there, anywhere where redness shines through. This foundation sets really, really nicely, so you don't really need powder. However, if you're oily, you might still want it in your T-zone a little bit, but today I'm going to skip powder because I'm just going to put it on how I normally would put it on. Okay, so if I zoom you out, you can see it matches me pretty decently. I mean, my normal tone, this would be good for. We are going to warm it up to try to make it a little bit warmer. So next step is going to be the blush. These blushes have a really pretty shimmer to them. They're not super intense shimmer, but there's a little bit of a sheen. So I'm going to start out with this middle shade, and we're gonna just kind of like start to blend cheek, and then we'll see if we need the darker shade or not. I've not used this before, so we're gonna see. And I like to focus my blush kind of right in the apple and bring it up as though, like in the spot of my highlight. I really like to focus it on my cheekbone. I feel like on my face it makes it more natural looking, plus it really emphasizes my bone structure without having to contour. So that is like a really pretty basic pink. It's pretty sheer, but I do like it because it's buildable. I always bring it up here a bit. And then we'll add the darker shade. I think this shade will be really, really nice when I am no longer tanner. I'm not tan, but like darker, because it'll show up a little bit better. But I am liking how it's going on. A really nice natural flush. So I'm actually, before I go in with the darker shade, I also really like to bring my blush around the bridge of my nose. I feel like it's really cute and natural flushed look. So I like to really emphasize it right in here, just to warm up my face. And then I also like it on the tip of my nose. I don't have much of a nose bridge, and my nose is pretty round and wide, and I really like the look of just having like the little tip of my nose warm, just like that. So now we are going to go in with the darkest shade here. I'm going to go in with a light hand because this one looks really pigmented, and I'm going to focus it more on the outer edge of my blush. Yeah, this one is much more pigmented, which I love blush. Blush is one of my favorite things. So sometimes I even bring it under my under eye. I just feel like it gives a nice natural blend. And you know what? Sitting on a foundation that is not powdered, these are actually blending really nicely. Sometimes you can kind of get into an issue when your foundation is still a little bit tacky. Sometimes your powders can stick if you don't have a powder on your skin on top of your creamy foundation, but this is actually blending out really nicely. I'm gonna bring some up here. Bring it on my nose. Okay. Really rosy, but I really like that. I think it's really pretty. But you can see how like it brings the attention here without having to contour. Because my face is very chubby at the moment because I have obviously put on weight. But if you were to look at my bone structure, I actually have really nice cheekbones. It's like one of my favorite parts of my face. And so even just adding some blush can emphasize those cheekbones. And then when you put the highlight on top, it looks great. I try to avoid from here for blush because for my skin or my face, I hate my smile lines. And I feel like sometimes it can just emphasize and make me look a little bit older. So just taking whatever excess blush just to kind of warm it up. And now we're going to go with highlight. So I have the deeper highlight and the lighter highlight. I'm going to try the lighter shade, which is Gleaming. I think this is an e.l.f. brush. It was like a holiday one. I'm using Gleaming, and I'm just going to go in that, and we're going to see how it applies. Ooh, that's pretty. So with highlight, I like to do this, and I also like to bring it up. You'll see it better on this side because the light is coming from this side, but even still, this is really pretty. Really nice and just basic light. I like that. Okay. Let's see. You can kind of see naturally where my cheekbone is before I put highlight on because it's kind of like naturally reflecting light. So I like to focus it just right on that line, sometimes blending it in with the blush a little bit. And then I like to, like I said, bring it up here. That is really, really pretty. It's like really pigmented and it's like gleaming, but, well, obviously that's the name, isn't it? Yeah. It's really, really pretty, but it's like more natural. It's not so shimmery. Like, it doesn't really have much shimmer in it. I'm gonna try the other one as well because I feel like this maybe is a little too light for my skin right now. So we're gonna try the darker highlight. Yeah, that's pretty. Okay, and then I like to bring highlight down my non-existent nose bridge because it emphasizes this part. Makes me look like I have some kind of nose. And then I like to obviously right on the tip. I like to brush downward on my upper lip. I don't like to go across. I like to just do downward because it just naturally highlights my lip shape. So this is the highlight and blush so far. Before I get into the eyeshadow, I'm going to put on this lipstick that I got in the shade Starlit. And we're going to put this on so I can kind of have a comparison for what I want my eyeshadow to look like. So we're going to do that. This is the first Kokie lipstick I've ever used. And I can say it is very matte, like really matte. But I like it. I might put a little gloss on top, but it's really pretty. This is like a really pretty shade. Like nice and summery, really bright. I could even see myself wearing this in the fall, just with like black eyeliner and mascara. I think this lip color is actually really pretty. It's nice and bright, but it's not too much. So I am going to use just a little bit of gloss just on top, get some moisture in because I'm not a big fan of matte lipsticks, but I still use matte lipsticks because I can put a little gloss on top. But I think that would be really pretty in the fall. Like, I love matte lips in the colder seasons. Yeah, this color is really pretty. Okay, so I am going to real quick blend out some primer on my eyelids, okay? And then while that just sits on my eyes for a minute, I'm going to go in and just fill in my brows really quick. I like to do my brows really basically, so I'm just going to fill this in while that has time to set. Those are the brows done. Before I get into the eyeshadow, I do just want to real quick take some more blush and just warm up my forehead a little bit. My forehead is a bit pale. So I am just going to take some of that deep blush again and just kind of blend it here just to kind of warm up the edges and also down here just to kind of get some warmth. Okay, I'm going to zoom you in for the eyeshadow. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a few shades from the Pure Magic eyeshadow palette. I'm going to first go in with Poof, which is a beautiful neutral fleshy color, just to have a nice base on top of my primer so that everything just blends really nicely. I do love these palettes, so I'm excited to play around with them a bit more. First, what I'm going to do is go in with Ritual in this Pure Magic palette. It is this color right here, nice little transition shade. I'm going to take some of that and we're just going to blend it into the crease. I want this to be nice and pigmented, so I'm going to really kind of focus that color right in the crease and then diffuse it outward. Next, we're going to switch over to Arabian Nights, and we're going to go in with Rebel, which is a deeper shade right down here. And we're kind of just going to do the same thing, except keep it closer to the crease. we're not gonna bring it out as much as that last shade, so we're just gonna blend it into that crease just to deepen it. Because I think I'm gonna add purple. So using a different brush, I'm going to use a smaller blending brush. I'm going to dip into Goddess in the Arabian Nights. It's this deep purple. It's kind of shimmery, but more on the matte side. And I'm going to just put this right in the crease, like really limit it to the crease and the lid. So just really rocking that in there like that. And we're gonna try to bring some purple into this look. Okay, so I got a nice purple base going in, and I am now gonna go in with Jewel, which is this navy, just to kind of bring, I don't know, bring something funky to this. In this, I'm just going to focus on the outer edge of my crease. To be honest, I love how these shades blend. You wouldn't think that this would blend with like that brown base and then purple. You don't think it would blend, but it is actually blending really nice and it's not getting muddy. Plus, I'm working with all of these very pigmented shades. Not only are they all blending amazingly together, not getting muddy, but there's no fallout at all. I don't know how Kokie does it. These palettes are extraordinarily amazing. I don't think this look will look good with this lipstick though. I took it in a totally different direction, because I wanted to use the lid topper, this on top, and so I'm going into a more like blue and purple tone, and that's just totally opposite of this lipstick. So I might have to take this lipstick off. I always do that. Whenever I, put a lipstick on to try to match the look, it never looks good. I always go in the complete opposite direction. I'm going to go in with a little bit more of Goddess, which was that first purple shade, and just kind of blend it into the inner crease, right in here. There, and I just threw on some little bit of lip gloss. Okay, I am now going to take this beautiful lid topper and I am going to just bring it into the center of my eye. Like that. Oh my god, so pretty. Then before it sets, I am going to blend out like that outer portion with my finger to blend it. Let's wait for it to dry and then we can kind of add some blue to blend the edge. Actually, let's just let it dry first. Okay, so my camera died, so I had to charge it for a few minutes. While I did that, I took some concealer and I covered up where I put the shimmer, because I want to apply it with my finger and see how it goes on. It just is a really thin formula, so it kind of removes itself when you build it up, so just wanted to get a different chance at putting it on, so I just covered it up and I am going to try to reapply it. It's a beautiful shade. I just wish that I had a little bit more control with it, so I'm gonna use it with my finger and see if I have better luck with it. Not really, it seems. It's kind of like you have to put it on and just don't move and just let it dry exactly where it is, or else it won't look good. So I'm just gonna let that sit there. It likes to collect in your crease, that's for sure. We're just gonna try to let that dry. It likes to collect in your crease, so I guess try not to open your eyes or blink. Next, I would like to take a little bit of Spellbound from the Pure Magic palette, and it is this like deep plum. I'm just going to take like a very small brush and dip into that, tap it off, and I mean like want to take a very small amount and just put it on the outer edge of my lash line. I really want this look to be like dramatic because I don't often do looks like this, and I just feel inspired to play around today. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to take the shade Mystery. We're going to clean this brush off, and we're going to take the shade Mystery, which is this beautiful light blue. It's like a nice icy blue. Tap that off, and we're going to come from this inner corner and kind of bring it in to connect it, but really focus that pigment like right in here. The last product that I'm excited to use is this Champagne Velvet Smooth Eyeliner, and I got this to be for my waterline when I don't want to use a white eyeliner in my waterline. So I'm just going to place this on my waterline. And then last but not least, we're going to take the highlighter that I used on my face, go into that highlighter, and I'm going to do my usual, which is blending it under my brow bone, into the edge of the eyeshadow, in the inner corner, and we will see how it looks. And then I am debating doing eyeliner. Might skip eyeliner and just go straight to mascara. So I'm going to take my Essence mascara and I'm going to go to town on the upper and bottom lashes. I'm going to zoom you out. This is the finished look. I think it's really pretty. Lashes make such a difference. I was kind of like concerned that this wasn't going to look good, and then you put lashes on and it changes the whole vibe. I just really like it. I think it's really pretty. It's like a nice evening look. I think like if I were going on a date or out to dinner or some kind of celebration or something like that, I would really like this look. It's really, really pretty, and I love the cool tonedness of it. Like I love the purple and the blues and just how they all just kind of mesh together, because from far away it's just like a really nice smoky look, but the closer you get up you get to see those bright pops of color, and it's really, really pretty. So overall I'm going to give just a quick overview of what we used and my opinions on them as usual. So of course we used the Kokie foundation. I'm in the shade 10C. So on me, you know, once it oxidizes and once it blends out a bit, it does match the skin pretty well. It is a little bit gray toned, so for me, I like to mix in some concealer here and there, but I didn't do that today. I wanted you just to see the foundation, how it is naturally on its own, and it has great coverage, and it's nice and it's dewy, but it's not shiny. It's a pretty natural coverage foundation. I really like this foundation. I just wish it didn't smell the way it smells. I don't know what the intended scent is supposed to be, but the smell to me is very like Patron. It's like alcohol. But it doesn't break me out, nothing like that. So this is always in my arsenal. I always use this. I really like this foundation. Obviously, we used the two palettes that I have reviews on my channel in two separate videos, but using these together proved to be really, really nice. I think for the prices of these individually, each one is $15. if you get both, I mean, it kind of gives you like a nice big palette to explore and play around with. So I loved mixing and matching some different shades from both of these palettes. The lipstick is really, really pretty. It just didn't match this look in particular, but I do think that that is a beautiful, beautiful lipstick to use in the fall. And even now, I mean, it's nice and bright, but I love the idea of wearing like all black and having like black eyeliner and big lashes, and that is, you know, with a nice bright lip. It's a really nice tone of lipstick. It's very versatile. I think that it could totally pass now in the summer as like a bright, fun lipstick, but also it has a deepness to it that can be really, really good in all seasons. So yeah, I really like this. It's really, really pigmented, which I really like about that. Next is the blush. We know how I feel about the blush. The blush is really, really pretty. Again, I don't know, for this look, the tone doesn't really go with the eyes, but in general, this blush is really nicely pigmented. It's really, really smooth. It blends out beautifully. It has a nice natural sheen to it, where it's not shiny on the skin, but it just has a little bit of a gleam to just make your face brighten up in the light, and it just looks like it's coming from within, that natural glow. So I really like this, and I like that they kind of give you the 3 shades. The light shade, I don't know if it's supposed to be a highlighter or a brightener, because it is kind of pinky toned as well. I'll have to play around with the light shade, but the middle shade and the deep shade are awesome. I really liked how those blended together and created just a really nice flushed look. The highlighters, obviously, gorgeous. They're beautiful and they blend really nice. The cool thing about these is that they're really like pressed, but when you feel them and touch them, they're like blinding, and they blend onto the skin beautifully. I really like these. These are like better than my Revlon highlighters, which it makes me happy. So I can switch over to using these, and these are quite affordable. They're like $6 each. You can't beat that. And then the eyeliner was awesome. It went on beautifully. You can see it's just like a nice subtle way to brighten up your under eye, to brighten up your eye overall, make your eyes look bigger. My eyes are already big, so I don't really have to deal with that, but that's not really my goal. But it's to always brighten up when you do some darker shades like this. It just brightens up your eyes, really makes them pop. And I do like to go for like natural champagne-y shades like this, because white sometimes is just too much. It's like, it is a little bit too abrasive, like a little bit too bright, whereas when you do champagne, it brightens you up, but it doesn't, it's just not too much, you know? It blends with the makeup a little bit better, and this I really like. It goes on so smooth. It's this right here. It goes on so smooth, and it's comfortable putting it on your waterline, and it doesn't make your eyes water, nothing like that, and it has a nice little sheen to it. I really, really like that. But then there's this. So I'm kind of on the fence about this one. It's beautiful. Like when you swatch it, it's gorgeous, but it doesn't really go on the eye like that. It's kind of a weird formula. I might have to play around with how to apply it a bit more, because it's not thick like the Stila ones. So like usually like the Stila ones, you can just kind of brush them on with the applicator in the bottle, and they go on beautifully. They set well. You don't really have to worry about blending them out unless you want to blend them out. They kind of stay where they're put. They're thick. They don't run. They don't bleed. They don't gather anywhere. But this formula is a bit thinner, a lot thinner, and so you do kind of have to worry about where you are. Sorry, I'm using that out. Where you are applying it, because it tends to kind of like gather in your crease a bit. If you are going for more like a cut crease look with application, you have to be careful. You kind of have to be successful on the first go. If you add more product, it's the kind of product that will lift up the pigment. So you do have to be kind of careful. I'm going to play around with it. The color is, like I said, gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. And I like the way that this look turned out overall, but I do think that I'm going to play around with this a bit more and see if there's a better way that I can use it. Maybe it's just trial and error, you know, you find a better way to put it on. And then the only other thing is that it just takes a bit of time to dry. It takes a bit longer than normal to dry, which could just be the wetter formula. So like I would give this kind of like a C, you know, like everything else is like an A. This is kind of like a C. Other than that, I really like how my makeup turned out. I think it's really pretty. It's different than what I would normally do, but I'm into that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of these products. What was your favorite? Is there another brand that you would like this kind of a video with, you know, a full face of? I have a ton of brands and I can always purchase things that you guys are interested in seeing. Let me know what you think. I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.